Over the last several years, we've received a large number of calls from people seeking some sort of assistance for injuries due to COVID-19 vaccines. Up until now, we've unfortunately been unable to help those individuals, mainly because their options are extremely limited at this point still. The only possible avenue for seeking some sort of compensation for an injury due to a COVID-19 vaccine is through something called the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. And this is obviously separate from the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, where we do most of our work. And the CICP, for short, has been a complete failure for people seeking compensation for COVID vaccine injuries. Not only is there a shorter deadline and no attorney's fees and no appeal process, but they have paid out very little, if at all, for any COVID-related injuries up until now. And the compensation available in that program is limited to out-of-pocket medical expenses and lost earnings or wages. Typically, people seeking compensation for injuries like this are looking for something for their pain and suffering. We have been waiting for COVID-19 vaccines to be added to the vaccine injury table of the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. And there is a process by which this occurs. First, if the CDC recommends a vaccine for routine administration in pregnant women and children, within 2 years, the Department of Health and Human Services should add or amend the vaccine injury table to include that vaccination. And that would hopefully be followed by Congress enacting an excise tax on the pharmaceutical companies making that vaccination so that it can officially be part of the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. Now, COVID-19 vaccines have been recommended for administration in children and pregnant women up until recently, when the current secretary rescinded that. So it's unclear as of right now whether that still is in effect. Regardless, the Department of Health and Human Services missed their deadline, their 2-year deadline to amend the vaccine injury table, and Congress has not acted at all to enact the excise tax. So as it stands right now, COVID-19 vaccines are not part of the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. They have not been added to the vaccine injury table, and they remain part of the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. Other methods have been attempted to bypass the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. There's currently a bill pending in Congress that would repeal the PrEP Act, which currently provides protections to the pharmaceutical companies from liability or exposure to lawsuits for injuries. If that were to happen, then theoretically you could pursue a litigation against those companies for injuries due to vaccines. There's a lot happening right now with regard to both the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, COVID-19 vaccines, and how we're going to hopefully someday be able to provide compensation for people who have suffered legitimate injuries due to COVID-19 vaccine. So we'll continue to monitor, obviously, everything that's going on and try to bring you updates as they come in. I'd also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we'll continue to keep you updated on all things vaccine injury compensation program and the COVID-19 vaccine situation. Invite you to contact us too if you have questions about any of this. You should understand that as of right now, we really cannot help anybody who has been injured by the COVID-19 vaccine. We're not currently taking those cases, but we are keeping track of anybody that does contact us. And should things change and we are able to assist those individuals, we will be hopefully reaching back out to people to try and help them. So feel free to contact us, and we can add you to our list.